What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, My Desire, and of course,
Denny C23. What's going on, man?
you know what it is. It's another episode, another review of Harlem.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
final season. Season 3 has dropped on Amazon Prime, and we have all the goodies and the deets for you. So, we're going to jump right into it with episode 3 and 4. So, if you did not watch episode 4 yet,
Go back. Go watch it.
go watch it, okay? Because we are getting this close to the end of the season. Now,
Yes.
we're going to jump in with your girl, Angie.
Oof.
Angie has been something else. And I would like to say that I acknowledge her growth in this episode. But she definitely had me on the edge for a second because I thought I was going to have to be like, girl, what are you doing? Okay.
Angie. I feel Angie is still transitioning.
Yes.
I wouldn't shout out her growth just yet.
I mean, she had a little something. You know what I mean? Just a little.
I wouldn't shout out her growth just yet. The same way I said about Quinn. It hasn't been tested.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
But right now, Angie is on the up. She's doing great in her career. She has a great relationship going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely proud of that growth as far as like gaining stability in her life.
She's doing a really good job.
If that's what we're talking about, we're celebrating that.
She definitely found herself, right? She found her footing. In this episode, we see her in what we consider to be selfish mode, right? Which she really is, right? She's talking to Mike about this venue. You see her gasp, and she's so dramatic. She's running out. This lady is telling her like Rihanna had her Fenty, launch here, and this person had their concert here, and remember, she is looking for a wedding venue, not a concert venue. So it is definitely very interesting to see her wanting this is a big as somebody planning on wedding 500 people. Even if the venue is just holding 500 people, that's a lot because then you have a lot of space to fill. Like, I don't know. What would you think? Like, as a man who is,
I felt the same as Mike in that moment. I was like, do we need a concert venue?
Right.
It's a wedding. And he's already stated multiple times that he would like it to be as intimate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel in that scene, I was a little rubbed the wrong way because it made me cringe. Because it's like, are you even listening to the man that's going to be funding this, one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And two, that you're going to be married to? Like, this is important.
It is important.
And I feel like the realtor, whatever, party planner, the wedding planner, whoever this woman is that was showing them the place. I feel like she was saying all the stuff to lock in a sale and wasn't being genuine at all.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely not. She was catering to Angie.
Right.
When you do it the right way, you cater to the couple.
You
right.
You cater to the pocket.
Well,
and then
wasn't the issue.
Then you cater. Listen. It was the issue.
No, there wasn't the issue.
The issue wasn't the money. You're right.
No, the issue wasn't the money.
But the issue was the man was being left out.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you initially supposed to really have a conversation with the couple. What do you want? What do you want? Like, it's supposed to be a collective thing. She was totally catering to Angie because, as most people do, right, they feel like the wedding is for the women. And so I think that's not the good way to look at it because both people are getting married.
Right.
Both people get to walk down the aisle. And that's something that I've been very, sincere and passionate on just in my process alone. But we see her have this conversation. And, we see all the faces that she makes when Mike is saying like, hey, let's talk about this. We need some time to mull it over. And she's like, I guess. And as they're having these conversations, I think she never asked him why, and I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that thought process even came to my mind. I think if it was my situation, maybe. But
that's
I think
crazy because initially I already thought why.
Why?
When he said at the bar with the ladies, like, shouldn't a wedding be intimate?
Right. He mentioned that.
Yeah. Like, it's not like it's the first time. So she's missed different cues in what she could have asked those questions.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I'm not celebrating her growth just yet. Okay? Because I feel in this scene, especially, I feel like we were getting the bratty Angie that we're used to.
For sure.
And for what she's moving into, that's not going to be helpful or conducive to their relationship.
Yeah, and as we see, you know, when we progress to the episode for Angie in particular, she gets the call from the very overzealous party planner or venue coordinator. She's like, yo, listen, this venue, somebody's in here right now. They want it. What can you do? And she's like, oh, can I just call you back in 20 minutes? And she's like, no, I need to answer now.
And that's why I feel she wasn't being genuine.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Of course, like, a sale is a sale. They are about the sale.
That's the easiest, oldest trick in the book right there. Listen, I know you was interested in the space, but we got somebody interested same date as you.
Yeah.
The same date as me. Like, I understand sometimes coincidences do happen.
Right.
Not in this case. The next day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about it is shit like that happens, especially in the wedding industry, right? Because venues, and they made this point early on in the season, right? They're in New York. Venues go like hotcakes in New York. You know what I mean? People have their weddings booked out 3-4 years in advance, which is crazy to me because it must be that y'all already got married, but you're having the wedding in 4 years. Because ain't no way I'm waiting 4 years to get married.
Why not?
So I'm talking about to actually say my vows. I'm not trying to be engaged for 4 years. That's crazy.
What are you in a rush for? You already agreed to spend the rest of your life with this person. So what's the difference between marriage today and marriage in 4 years? No. Like, I don't know. I feel like, let us know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all think it's okay to have a postponed engagement to get the wedding that you want?
No, listen. I think a
prolonged engagement.
Listen, well, prolonged engagement is fire. I'm going like a year and a half. 4 years is a really long time to have a prolonged engagement. But nonetheless, Angie rattles off Mike's credit card, right? Didn't even think about it. And it was a $50,000 hold.
First of all, this is toxic. How do you know this man's card number, expiration date, and 3 digits on the back?
Well, I know mine by heart. So
that's yours.
But I mean, they engaged.
Exactly.
Hey, you don't want to talk about prolonged engagement. By the time they get 4 years in, she gonna know his.
Right, but they're not 4 years in yet.
I'm just saying. Listen, I've been in relationships where like the woman's knowing my social. You feel me? I get that. Not just social.
However, it's not like I don't know. I don't get it. Like, why you just got that on the top of your head?
She rattled the card number off. It's a $50K charge. Mike comes in. She's in lingerie. She's trying to ease the pain of having spent this money on this man's account. And he has to tell her, like, no, that's being selfish. It's inconsiderate. And, like, have you even stopped to ask me why I don't want to have, you know, this grand wedding? And so literally she says no and realizes like she missed an opportunity to be wifey, right, in that moment. And he expresses that he doesn't have a lot of family and would like to keep it intimate because he doesn't want to be reminded of the family that's not present, which I think was very deep and needs to be talked about more when it comes to, I think things are very, I want to say there's an assumption that we think because our family's are one way that we assume other people's families are the other way, or that you have that close relationship, right? Because I know people who, listen, they have cut family members off and they don't speak. And so you have to be mindful that not everybody's in that same space as you. And so she basically says she apologized and then basically tells him that she'll cancel it and that it doesn't matter because she didn't sign a contract, which I thought was very funny. But I guess
I'm not gonna lie.
To a degree, she's not lying.
Angie, this is the Angie that should be showing up, the one who's helping the situation. I'm not gonna lie. She said, I would dispute the charges if I have to. You know why? Because we didn't sign a contract, so they can't prove we did anything.
Listen.
And I said, you know what, Angie? I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
I'm gonna dispute that charge, baby. Any chance I get, for sure.
Like, Angie, if you got any other tips, please be sure.
Listen,
write a comment for us. We need to know. Right?
I'm just saying. Yeah, definitely. And y'all let us know. What do you think? Did you think that Angie should have asked sooner? I mean, I think we know that she probably should have. But what do you think about how she handled the situation and how Mike handled the situation, quite frankly? Because how you handle conflict pre-marriage is how you probably gonna handle conflict post-marriage. So just things to consider, right? Now, child, Quinn, baby Quinn.
Oh man, Quinn. I feel like Quinn is tested this episode, okay?
Really? How so?
Because, all right, so we know she's been talking to Seth, and it's been a good little vibe. And the way that they even got this far is because she looked out for him on the red carpet. Now, Carly, the former stylist, is dragging her the filth.
Yeah.
I feel like that's trying Quinn. First of all, we already know Quinn isn't that like rah type of person in the first place.
She's not.
It's given very cute, very demure. Like it's given. That's what Quinn is given. All right, and I feel like one, to be dragged about stealing the client, but to also be like degraded in the sense like, oh, he just wanted you to be added to his harem. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. That was
crazy.
Crazy. Sis, like, yeah, no.
But I do shout out to Quinn, how she responded though.
Quinn is me. As far as responding to stuff, I'm not gonna 110%. I will handle things I will handle personal things like professional, right? Okay, like, because seriously, it's very much like I need to remain in my senses, and like for me, it has nothing to do with the other person, but it's really like for my own sanity, I can only handle things in a certain kind of way unless I'm like pushed to the extreme. But I do like how she handled it because one, the girls were telling her she got to clap back.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, how do you feel when Tai said you can't let this man handle it for you? You got to do it yourself.
Well, I think Tai was right because here's the thing: her and Seth are not an item, right? Now, if you my man, that's something different, and I will patiently wait, and then I'll probably bring it up if it hasn't happened at a certain time to say like, hey, you said you were gonna handle this, but you didn't. Right. But because he's not her man, it's like this is her business and her name on the line, and she does need to handle that for herself and not let Seth do it. So I was really happy that she figured it out in her own way. She didn't do it the Tai way or the Angie way. She did it in Quinn's way.
I'm not gonna hold you. Tai and Angie's gonna get Quinn beat up. All right.
Listen,
they was gonna get her beat up.
Hey, Quinn might have hands though.
She said a takesy backsy. She does not have hands.
She definitely said a takesy backsy.
She said
she didn't understand what being light skinned meant either.
So. She said, "What does that even mean? I am light skinned."
I mean, come on. She's not lying though. I mean, what does it mean if you are light skinned? Like you don't know how any other way to act, but I digress.
But I digress.
Yes, I digress. But no, I did love how she handled it. She dropped Seth as a client. He happens to walk in right afterwards and say, well, I guess, that business portion of our relationship is done.
Right.
But we can still have a personal relationship.
How did you feel about him, like, doubling down on a personal relationship after cutting him off? Yeah.
I think that if you really like somebody, if one portion is unavailable, that doesn't mean that it negates the other portion. Because this was business and personal, they did a really good job. I mean, think about it. Throughout the episodes that we've seen so far, they've been a really good job of being respectful to each other's
space,
and their profession. So I think that I wasn't surprised at all that he said that because I could tell that he's really digging Quinn. He really likes her. He enjoys her company and vice versa. So wasn't surprised at all. And I think that they just the way that these two play the role, they complement each other really well.
They do. They really do. I will say that. So for Quinn and Seth, do you feel that she's going to do that thing where like she self-sabotages?
I don't know. It's too soon to say. Right now, we just have them having fun, enjoying their time together. She says that she loves his company and styling him. And he says that he's not hyping her up when he tells her that she's good at what she does. He's being authentic.
But she is good.
She is good. She is good. And it's weird because I'm not going to lie to you. I think I almost didn't realize that she wasn't a stylist until this season. Because
no, she was a designer.
No, I know, right? But because I saw her putting the pieces together for the people that came into the store, I think in my head I was like, oh, well, she obviously does styling. But I think like seeing this come to something that she wasn't expecting to happen so really good, is just like beautiful. So I love that, and I don't know what's to come for them, but I do like that they are moving gradually in a really good pace, and it seems like there's transparency and honesty between each other. So we'll see when we get to the next episode. I won't be.
All right, so let's move over to Miss Camille.
Ooh, well, Camille.
Like, as we know, man, Camille got the biggest struggle going on right now, and that is in itself a lot to swallow. Like the fact that you have a baby, the fact that you quit your stable job.
Well, she quit before she knew she was pregnant,
right?
So...
But it still goes into it, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't take away from anything. Like whether she knew or not, this is still the fact. The fact is, she quit her job.
Yeah,
she found out she was pregnant. She doesn't have insurance. She now has to get private insurance, testing for the baby, doctor's appointments, things like that, and the pressure is swallowing her. And I felt that.
Yeah,
like to go through this alone, people don't think about, I think, the backside of things. You know what I mean? People think about, oh, you just get pregnant, you just have the baby. They don't think about the meat and potatoes in between. You feel me? And I feel like that was a wake-up call for Camille, especially being that she is doing this as a single mom.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting because I can't remember a time where I didn't think about the meat and potatoes of when I, of wanting to be a mom, because I will say that I'm blessed in the sense of I get to do it differently. Most people have just had children, right? I get to plan it out, but I will say that doesn't make it less anxious, right? I feel like you still get all the same nervousness and the anxiety of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, all these things. I think for Camille, and like her friends said in the last episode, they were like, do you want to have this baby?
Right.
Do you want to be present for this baby? Because you are going to be the one responsible 24/7.
But also with these conversations, no one talked into the day-to-day of what it requires for you to even get to the full term of your pregnancy.
Well, I will say to that point, they also don't have kids, right?
I was about to say, she had no mothers to speak to, which is something I feel was a area that the writers missed a bit. Yeah. Because the only mother that she was able to speak to was her own, which didn't give her anything.
And then Aunt Tammy.
Who is also a woman who decided to go the route of not becoming a mother.
Yeah.
So it's like you got a bad example of a mother, a woman who chose the best decision for her at the time, and where's the woman who made the decision to be a mother?
Well, I
feel like that was the one thing that was missing.
I think it was missing, but I will say also that the ladies were definitely convincing Camille, or at least having a conversation with her about not having to do it on her own, right? Ian is not that type of guy. That's one thing we could say about him throughout this entire series.
He's a stand-up guy.
He's a stand-up guy. So I knew for sure that he wasn't going to leave her hanging. Now, is he going to have to manage some things differently? Right. Yeah, of course. But I don't think that he would leave her hanging. So in her trying to do it on her own, she goes to talk to the girl. She's like, well, I went to talk to Ian about how much the testings cost, right? Which is $1,600. I'm not surprised, to be quite honest, because I think that there are definitely, I don't remember how much the testing that I did was, but I definitely know it's up there. Thank God for insurance. But wanting to talk to Ian, asking him, can they talk? Again, another pop-up on his doorstep, right? And then him hitting her with the information that, him and Portia are also working on starting their own family, and that they have embryos. And I think that he was wrong from withholding that information because...
Yes. I agree. I feel like, how do you say my bad to that?
Yeah, you can't say my bad to that. My bad is an inadequate way of saying I apologize deeply. And I think that's what he should have said. But I don't think that it computed for him. And again, we're not able to see the the backside of this, and what I mean by that is like the conversation that he might be having with Portia about this, because I think that Portia would probably be the type of person to say, no, she really deserves an apology, because she was under the assumption that you just wanted to be a dad, right? Now that you were actively trying to be a dad, but that's just all speculation. And she gets upset. He says, my bad.
Before we move forward, I thought we were going to get that conversation between Portia and Camille and Ian when he invited her in the house.
I did too.
But Camille declined. Why did she decline?
She's still uncomfortable.
I understand, but this is now your baby and you're 8 months.
Well, at this point, she's not that far along, right? But she's pregnant. Right. But I think that you're when you're uncomfortable, you're not thinking. So she's not thinking. She's thinking emotionally, right? And then also, Portia came out to feed him fudge. Like, girl, he answered the damn door. Why you coming out? Come on now. I think that sometimes she just be like, just for whatever reason, she always got to come outside. Come on now. He went outside to answer the door. You want to talk about fudge in front of Camille's face while he's there, only acknowledging her after the fact, right? Which is crazy to me, because you came out and you see he's talking to somebody, right? So to me, it's just that could have been handled differently, but I think she was already uncomfortable.
Portia probably tired of Camille just popping up too when they in the middle of doing stuff.
That's possible, but Ian answered the door, and it just is what it is at this point. And again,
they didn't know it was Camille. It's not like she left a voicemail.
No, but I think that goes into making sure you have clear communication. Yeah. Camille's text was not clear. Hey, can we talk later? Ian said, yeah, let's do that. There should have been another conversation, like Ian said, and I respect that, to say, hey, does this time work for you, so that they're on the same page, and that didn't happen. But I still think it remains for me is that Portia just like, girl, just take the fudge out the oven, okay, and don't burn it.
I'm not mad that Portia made a cameo.
I mean, of course you're not, because you have a crush on her. But nonetheless, I think that as Camille is having this conversation, she's upset with him. She leaves, she's talking to the women about it, and they're like, yo, ask him for the money. And she's like, well, I was going to, but then things got heated. And so eventually we see her going to her publisher to try to get, she's like, run me my money. Like, where's the next advance? And it's hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie. The lady, the publisher, she broke it down for Camille so sweetly. You couldn't be mad at it, because it was real, but she wasn't rude about it.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Like, other people could have been like, listen, we've seen shows where people get rude. We've seen in this show with Whoopi Goldberg and how she treated her. Like, facts. Who are you? You ain't do nothing yet. Why do I have to? You know what I mean? So I feel like, hey, we gave you an advance up front, right? With 0 chapters.
Yeah.
That was in good faith.
Yeah.
Now we need the rest of your chapters.
Right. We need the whole book. Because, I mean, that's true too, though. I definitely agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because if I give you here's the thing. First of all, it's twofold for me. I don't want you advancing me no more money that I might go into debt for if I don't make this book right. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And then also on the publisher end, we don't want to lose out on money either. So I think that it just makes sense, right? And we see her at the end of everything. She's trying to call people that owe her favors, or that owe her money. I mean, listen, I'm about to be like her too. Like you said, you was going to pay me back for that Uber ride that I got for you the other day. And I ain't see that $17.37 coming to my account yet.
The one that got me was, she said, you never paid me for that article I wrote. They said, oh yeah, up to 90 days for payment. I said, what?
90 days is crazy.
Oh.
90 days is crazy. But she's realizing that, listen, like it's not happening for her, and she needs to ask Ian. So, they sit down, she texts him, she says, thank you for showing up. They have a conversation, and she's given the roundabout, which is another, not in a bad way, but she's given that uncomfortable, nervous, anxious of, I have to have this conversation with you, and I'm not sure how it's going to go. But she finally comes out with this. She says, like, hey, I don't have health insurance. The bills are kind of like, this is a lot that I didn't expect for or plan for. Can you help me? And she goes as far, and he says,
yo,
I got you.
You don't need to worry about nothing.
I love that because we know that that's who Ian is.
Shout out to the reassurance that was needed in that moment.
I agree.
And I feel like, Ian, you made some dumb decisions in the past, but you show up when it matters, and that's where you get your credit, brother. Because that woman was drowning.
Yeah.
And you hit her with another anchor.
Yeah. And I love that because they really do. You can see the friendship that they have come to light in that moment. And I really, really love that. She even shares the bill with him, right? That's some shit that I would do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, just in case you thought I was lying, here's the bill. Right.
It's like, you don't even need to show me that.
Right.
That's another thing too. It's like, listen, I know who you are, Camille. I know you're not one of these chicken heads in the street trying to trap me. Like, come on, we gonna give it.
Okay.
You're not one of these chicken heads, Like, I get it. If you say it's 1,600, I know it's 1,600.
Yeah, but 1,600, like, goddamn, that's a lot of money.
He did say that's a lot, but hey, it's for your kid.
Yeah, and not just for the kid, it's for your daughter, because now they know it's a girl.
Yes.
Which I think was such an amazing. First of all, I didn't even know that was possible, because at this point she is, let's just say that she's maybe 4 months in now, right? Because we were 3 months, right, at the last episode. So let's just say she's 4 months at this episode. I didn't realize that they could tell that soon based on the testing that they did, the sex of the baby or the gender of the baby. Right. So that's pretty dope. But yeah, super happy,
So my question is Tai. Because we didn't get touched.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I was getting there. I was just saying, crash out Camille and crash out Too Bad this episode. So we're going to give her props for that. And then we're going to move into Tai's love life, because
I'm not going to lie.
It's been interesting.
I love Eva for Tai.
I love how you say Ava and not Eva. You make this sound so demure.
Is it not Eva? Is it Eva?
It's Eva.
It's Eva?
It's Eva.
I thought it was Eva. Eva. Man.
Look,
I don't know.
He want a daughter so bad, y'all. Eva.
All right. Whatever. Eva. I like Eva for Tai, guys. Let me know. What y'all doing? Eva and Tai? Yes or no? Just let us know, man. Because I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
I feel like Tai has found someone who not only stimulates her vagina, but also challenges and stimulates her mentally.
I hate you for using the V word. It's so gross.
Hey, man, I was trying to be PG-13. I didn't want to say pussy.
I mean, as you say it, but nonetheless, I think that I love that Eva stimulates her, but more so, Eva challenges her. And because even though they have that heated moment where, they're making out in her office and Ty's like, the old Ty would have had you spread eagle. And she's like, listen, I know that you have some stuff going on, right? And I want you to be comfortable. And I think that the new Ty is worth waiting for. And I love that because I understand that so much so, like, when you really like somebody, you want to get to know them on a deeper level. You want to make sure that what you feel is real and sincere, and it's not just the sexual part of that.
I got a question. How did you feel about their conversation at the aquarium when they were discussing how they came out to their families?
Oh, it's not surprising. I literally had a whole secret husband, estranged for 10 years.
That's fact.
That literally nobody knew about until her spleen was bursting, or fibroids or whatever have you last season. What? I'm not surprised at all. I think that it's sad though, because there are a lot of people in the community, the LGBTQIA community, right, who cannot come out to family for one reason or another. And I think that is crazy, because I can't imagine not loving somebody just because of who they choose to love. Like, that's crazy to me. But and so listening to Eva tell her story, right, about how her mom, what was it, Family Feud? Trash. Trash. I was very mad at her for losing the $20,000 because, girl, what are we doing here?
She said the family wasn't mad I was gay.
No.
It was mad I lost the money. I say, yo, if it's not a black family, I don't know what is. I'm just saying.
So, and then Ty's story is that she up and left, which begs to differ.
She said the morning I left, I was at breakfast with my family.
The biggest thing is that, and what we've seen Tai do this every season, she's a runner, she's a track star. Like, I mean, for real. And that's problematic, in which Eva manages to tell her, which is, your celibacy is just a surface trick.
Ooh, can we talk about how she read her to Phil?
Read her for Phil. I was not surprised. Were you? She might be an Aquarius.
I'm not gonna lie. Eva's definitely an Aquarius person, okay? Because that's what it's given. But I do feel she was within her right to say so, based off the flow of the conversation. And especially because this is someone you're pursuing. So it's like, I don't want to get half of you or a piece of you, just because you're damaged and you think you're healed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that was a really defining moment.
It is, because think about this. I can't imagine how heartbroken her mom, her dad, whomever is.
10 years.
Knowing that they have no idea what happened to you, and you just disappeared off the face of the earth because you don't want to tell people your sexual preference.
She popped back up though, because she's famous now.
But if she, okay, so then that begs to differ. Why hasn't anybody reached out to her?
Come on. That's it's a double-edged sword.
So,
but then again, you got to understand too, if people say they don't want to be bothered, sometimes people listen and don't bother you.
This is very true. So, I think it's definitely heartbreaking. But as we see, Eva definitely had a breakthrough, right? Because she's just saying that you have to deal with the underneath, the underlying issues, to even begin to deal with what's on the surface. And we know sex is a mask for a lot of people. Sex makes you feel better, but what they call it, post-nut clarity, child. Listen, as soon as that hit, it's a wrap. And so,
but I do like that Tai acknowledged Eva being right.
Yeah, I do, but I think that also we see that Tai is still not ready to really receive that part as of yet. But we see her as we end out the episode for 3 that she's actually looking up flights to go back home.
Right.
So when you start to change in all the better ways, especially when it comes to fighting demons, I'm really happy that Tai is taking this step for herself, I hope, and not for Eva.
Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Even if a little bit is for Eva, as long as it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes we do need that person in our corner to help push us, to stimulate that growth. And they get the credit for that. And it's okay. Sometimes you need that kick in the butt.
You do.
So it's all right.
I agree. Yeah. Well, moving into episode 4, y'all. It's a baby on the way. She 8 months pregnant. The oven is lit. The bun in the
oven been lit.
The baby is, know what I'm saying? You can see the tummy and all lit. So I love the excitement that her and Ian share in the moment when we first open up this episode. And, the baby is feisty, apparently, just like Camille. And they have a quick moment back and forth. They're excited that everything is going well. But then Ian is like, I got to go, And for me, I think this is just such a profound episode with them, because I think there's a little bit of a switch that happens where Camille really starts to open up. And I think Ian is receptive of that now. And I don't know if it's just because of what takes place in this episode, but
I feel, I wouldn't say Ian is receptive more.
Really? You don't think so?
I will say he's doing his part as a co-parent and nothing more, nothing less. And the reason I say that is because after the sonogram, Camille was trying to get a bite to eat before he just left her, And it was kind of like something that we keep seeing between Camille and Ian is like, she extends the olive branch and he's keeping her at arm's reach.
Right, which is why I'm saying that he became more receptive, because by the end of this episode, well, I'm just going through the whole entire thing, right?
Okay.
So with with Camille, they have this moment at the OBGYN. It's really nice, but then it's instantly kind of taken out because Ian says he has to go, and Camille wanted to hang out for a bit. And then she meets up with the girls, and she's just saying like it's really lonely and she wants some male attention.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we acknowledge that she's saying it's not sexual, it's just actual conversation. It's just, but I think that this is a real thing too, in which that some men cannot see past
the belly.
I don't even want to say the belly,
because it's a whole child in there.
No. I understand that, but I think that because sometimes it really is sexual for men. So like there's a certain thing that if I know that opportunity is nixed completely, like I don't even want to be here, right? So
is that a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing in terms of some men not understanding what companionship looks like, right? Because I don't need you to be sexual with me to have a good friendship or relationship with you. However, so I think it's a missed opportunity for some people.
I feel also you can't be shocked that men aren't choosing a woman with a belly.
Oh no, not shocked at all.
Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's necessarily that men are missing an opportunity. It's really you have a baby. So initially men are going to think either you're married in a relationship or got a crazy baby father.
Yeah, well.
Initially. Especially living in New York, like
what?
I'm just saying,
y'all should not take that. Y'all should comment right now about.
I'm a New Yorker,
talking about
through
y'all.
And through,
and me too. Which is why I said they need to comment.
Listen, New Yorker through and through, man. I'm just keeping it a bean. When you see a pregnant woman, your first instinct isn't like, "Damn, she fine. Let me try to get to know her." That's not what anybody not what regular people do, I would say. Don't get me wrong, because they did say there's some freaky frogs out there that be searching up pregnancy porn. It's like top 3 trending.
Hey, listen, Angie was like, wild for that, but also I am not surprised in the least bit whatsoever. So yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like as me personally. If a woman is pregnant, I would not be able to pursue her until after the baby.
Oh, listen, no, I get it, but I know personally some guys who heard that pregnancy box was the best, and they wanted to try it out.
As a man who's had sex with pregnant women,
I'm gonna need you to say that in a way where we know that
I have children. Okay, I have children. All right, we know I have.
You give it off scallywag, bro.
Well,
I'm just saying.
If you guys know. Well, I have children. I have 2 sons, 2 beautiful boys. Yes, I love them to death. Listen, as a man who's had sex with pregnant women, the vagina is good. But so is good non-pregnant vagina. What is wrong with people?
I'm just
like, I don't get it.
I'm just saying that, yeah, that's all I'm saying is. But,
I'm saying, listen, what, you want to poke the baby in the head?
Hey, listen, somebody liked it, right? Because as we see, and we can blend these 2 storylines together, Camille and Quinn are like having the time, right? Quinn is living it up, chilling at
Seth's house.
Right. Yeah. And I love this, so I'm not gonna lie.
Did you love this episode?
Seth shows up with 2 sets of flowers, and I'm like,
okay,
that's dope.
That's Seth fire. Is right now in the show, Seth is winning on all fronts.
Not only winning, I just like how he's presenting himself, because that's a really big deal. There are not a lot of men who would even think, at least I don't think so. Would you have to, like, I'm your girl's best friend, and you know that I'm here at your house with her. Are you bringing both of us flowers?
I have.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a occurrence
thing,
like every time thing though.
Okay. No, I didn't know that that even.
But I also didn't do it on a just because. They was going through something though.
Oh, okay.
They was going through something. I knew she was at the crib. I already bought flowers for my girl, so I went back and bought another.
Oh, that's nice.
So, but it wasn't on like I just thought of it off the top of my head type. Okay. You feel me? But I have done it. Like it is a thing. Especially if you rock with a friend.
Right. Yeah.
Like you a friend. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna show up for your friends like how I show up for my friends if that's what we going.
Well, I love that. I didn't. This is my first time seeing it, right, or like even hearing of it. So I thought that was really dope. And so he shows up with with flowers for both of them, but he also shows up with his friend who is, what is this guy's name again?
Cisco,
of course. I should have remembered that.
Song. I'm not gonna lie. Cisco pulled up with the turtleneck. I said, "Oh yeah, he's definitely interested."
Nah, he's definitely interested. I cannot. Well, listen, I will say that I did love the dynamic of this exchange, because I think that, especially coming off, I didn't, as much as I like to talk about things that are cliche, I didn't actually see that coming in the storyline. Did you see that? Did you think that that's where it was going to go?
I'm not going to lie. I did see it come in.
Oh, really?
Only because of the foreshadowing in the beginning of the episode. It's not that I saw it coming from any episodes prior, though. Mm-hmm. I did not think Camille was going to have a love interest or a potential love interest at all during the pregnancy.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I really, like, if we're going to talk predictions of what I thought that Ian was going to clip it with
with Portia. Nah, I didn't see that happening. And I didn't see that happening, and I didn't see Camille getting a love interest, only because I thought that, I just like that she was talking about it and being vulnerable with the women, because I think that that's a good conversation for other women to have. But I didn't see the love interest part. But once he came in with the friend, I instantly knew, like, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, I see. Once he came in with the friend, get the flowers, and then the conversation progressive, like, all right, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Nah, don't leave me as a third wheel.
Facts, though.
And I said, oh, from then he's definitely interested, because he looked at her when he came in, like, how you doing? Cisco. Yeah, be a real small debonair with the little turtleneck. And I'm like, okay, my man's. But I'm not gonna lie though, Cisco showed up in a way that Camille asked for, and then some. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know what to expect, to be completely honest.
Right.
Because I feel like even with her, she thought he was just being nice.
Right.
She didn't think of anything of it, like, I'm pregnant, like, nobody checking for me. Mm-hmm. But to find out that he was genuinely interested, and then they went back to her place, like, that was crazy.
And this is coming off of the reason that Camille is at Quinn's place, is because she's telling Quinn about how Ian left her at Lamar's class. First of all, let's go busy back. Because old girl was janky, shady, judgmental AF. Because if you keep telling me no judgment after every sentence, it's a lot of judgment, and you want to get punched in the face, because I feel like Camille should have punched her in the face, because I would have punched her in the face and she would have got punched in the face.
Say punch in the face one more time. One more time.
She was like, oh, this class is for couples, and she's like, yeah, well, my person's on the way. Well, you look like a single right now, so if they don't show up, you're gonna have to sign up for the single moms club. And I was like, oh. And then she was like, no judgment. And I'm like,
no judgment. And that right there is what hit me. Because I said, oh, you trifling.
Just
trifling.
Listen, seriously?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. To be a Lamaze instructor and be so insensitive and passive aggressive, crazy.
Listen, talk about it.
Crazy.
That was inappropriate.
How are you nurturing to bring a baby into this world? Are you so shady?
No, absolutely not. She needed to be saged and kicked out, because girl, you're not it. You're not it at all. I did not like that. And to me, it makes you feel worse than you already feel, because your person is not there.
And they late
and
not communicating.
Yeah. So I will say that at least she didn't quite crash out, right? With the text, it was like, I hope you're not dead. I hope nothing bad has happened. But like, where are you? And I think that was cool, right?
So, boom. I feel like I'm glad she didn't crash out. She handled that well. Mm-hmm. Ian is back to why I don't be praising you too much, besides when you show up as the co-parent that you're supposed to show up as. Because you said to her face in the hospital after the sonogram, you will be there. When something came up, you should have texted instantly. You should have. Mm-hmm. Do you disagree? I feel like a simple text would have saved her from the embarrassment of the Lamaze instructor, and it would have saved awkward conversation for y'all later.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I just think again, as we go through this storyline, that's this episode really does blend. But Ian later, again, doesn't respond to the text, no call, no show, essentially. Finally, he does call, and she ignores him because she's at game night, rightfully so. They're enjoying themselves thoroughly, Cisco, Seth, Quinn, and Camille having a good time. And she says, all right, it's time for me to get out of here. And he proceeds to say, "Oh, let me take you home." Helps her put on her shoes, says nothing a little foot rub can't handle, and takes her home. Now Ian shows up at Camille's doorstep, blowing up the buzzer, and she's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Next time you call, next time I call you, can you please answer your phone?" And it's like, next time I call you, can you please answer your phone?
That what I thought was hilarious, because like, how do you dare have the audacity to talk about answering somebody's phone when you don't answer text messages, phone calls, voicemails, emails? Like, I'm pretty sure she tried it all, man.
And then turns to a whole asshole when Cisco comes downstairs and he's like, "Who the F is this?" And I'm thinking to myself,
Cisco should have stayed upstairs.
Well, when you hear commotion, the natural response is to go downstairs.
Commotion?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, it wasn't a commotion.
When you hear voices loud,
okay,
it's you just want to make sure that everything is good.
Right.
Naturally, because even as a friend, I would have went downstairs to be like, "Yo, you good? Like, what's happening?" Right. So, but Cisco was not rude. Right. He was not like disrespectful, and Ian being like, "Yeah, my brother," like, sir, now he was the one acting light skinned in this episode, not Quinn. I'm just saying.
All right, so Ian is light skinned all the way through. His feelings was definitely his ego.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was definitely
100%.
pride in that moment. Okay, he thought, what? Like, you found another man? Like, right? What? Why are you pregnant with my baby? Like I think a lot of guys can't get past that though too. That's another thing. Like, to think about, especially like how you said, for a lot of men, things are sexual. So like, to think about a man being with your child's mother while your child isn't even born yet.
Listen, we not together. You with Portia, mind your business, and now you're being disrespectful. Get out. You were just leaving. Now let's talk outside. And he goes on to say that Portia's father had a stroke. And like, okay, you could have said that in a text. You had time to text me or to call me, after the fact. You could have just sent the text and said, "Family emergency, we'll let you know soon," right? You were like, nothing at all during something so important as your kid and the Moss class is crazy. So I don't like it. Now, that we have, where you want to go?
Decompress, because I'm not gonna lie, they just messy. Even chilling on the stoop, they was talking and like they was besties. Like, homie wasn't in the crib.
Well, here's the thing. I like that they said what needed to be said. Camille was forgiving. They extended grace to each other. That was a conversation that needed to be had. Hey, can you extend me some more grace? And I'll be sure to extend you some grace. Can you do the same for me? And also, hey, we used to be best friends before this, and you running right after we leave our appointments, it has been a bit hurtful. I'm just asking for a friendship. I know that you with Portia. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. And he acknowledges it by calling her nickname, which is, "All right, Cam, like, I got it. You right." And I think that is what we needed to see happen in this episode, because it sets the tone for the remainder of the season.
I agree. Yeah. Speaking of grace, let's go into Tai and Eva for this episode.
Listen, Toxic Tai showed her ass this episode.
Listen,
she showed her ass this episode.
They started off so great.
No, that's crazy. Y'all don't worry about that. That's my echo telling me what I need to do tomorrow. Crazy. Yeah, so I think that, am I surprised? No. Am I surprised how it happened? Yeah.
Oh, man. So we see them laying in bed as the scene starts. Tai and Eva. because I've been saying her name wrong, I guess. But I love this scene because it just shows the level of comfort that was been developed between them. Like, first of all, Tai letting someone stay in her space, negotiating a drawer, crazy.
Because she does say that after 24 hours, I'd have been kicking your ass out.
Right. But now, anywhere between 4 days and a month, like, that's crazy.
That's a month. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And I'm saying,
Tai doing better than me. I'm like 4 to 7 days. You got to go.
Listen.
Okay, you got to get up out of here.
Listen. So I feel this is really different for Tai, and as we see them like progress in the episode, like I feel the level of comfort. Right. So giving her a draw. Now we see them working together as well. I feel like giving her a drawer, you're already staying there for a month. Y'all don't need to work together.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's when things that we would see happen is like you start to feel over comfortable that you forget that sometimes you are still getting to know someone. So when they were giving each other constructive feedback on their work, I feel like that was risky. Off rip when they first before they even started.
Well, here's the thing. Tai asked for feedback. Eva asked for assistance. There's a difference, right? So Eva said, I'm getting frustrated. I can't figure this out. Tai said, you want me to take a look? She said, sure. Tai said, okay, just move this and this. Boom, there you go. She's like, okay, I got it now. Now, Tai is saying, I have my presentation, would love for you to look at it and possibly give feedback. Now, something that I've learned recently is that you need to ask the person what you want specifically, but you have to be careful like how you're asking it. So Eva comes off very brash, very like abrupt, but I also want to say this. I think that she's only doing that because it's a professional situation. I think we see how she handled, Tai talking about not going to see her parents and or not having seen them. She was like, avoided much, but she said it in a more loving, caring tone. When you're talking about your career, I don't know. I feel like there is a difference there. Even with my fiance, there's like a little of abruptness that comes. That's not necessarily meant to hurt your feelings, but it's meant to challenge you.
I get that. I feel with that, it definitely holds some merit because you're right. It did come off a bit different in her normal communication style towards Tai. And I think that's what also took Tai back.
Yeah.
Is because she wasn't expecting such a real response, being like she felt so confident in what she was been working on. And for you to tell someone who is not only good at what they do, but who has a certain level of success in the market that they're in,
right?
It's kind of hard to swallow when you say, yeah, you did that, but your baby don't mean nothing right now. And it came off very diminishing to what she's already accomplished, which wasn't the point. The point was you're already in the room. You don't need to keep bringing up your accolades. They already know everything about Q.
Right.
Now you have to show them why they need to invest in P.
Right.
And
I mean, I feel valid. It was valid.
I feel it was very valid.
She definitely could have said it differently.
Could have definitely said it.
And I think that Tai could have responded differently because Tai responded how she usually responds, which is, "Oh, I'm not feeling this, so you can leave." Like, and I think that is such a toxic way to handle things. Again, like you said, we already personally hanging out and spending hours and days and times together. I don't want to be hanging out with you hours and days at work either, because that does start to get overwhelming and you get extremely comfortable. And so Tai puts Eva out. She leaves her sweater. We find, Tai showing up a little later to jokingly be like, "Oh, you forgot this," and I think that is
Eva closing the door in Tai's face.
Hey, listen, cause ma'am,
Clap, bravo. Like, who face are you playing then?
Like, yeah, like you either gonna apologize like an adult or we're not doing this. And so, but I did follow the conversation when Eva was just like, well, why? She's like, I want to be perfect for, which is unreasonable. And again, why Eva had said, check those underlying issues, right? Because her need to be perfect is why she left home in the first place.
Talk about it.
So you want to be perfect, but that's not what loving somebody looks like. The whole point in loving somebody, whether it's romantically, familial, friendship, whatever, is to love you with every single thing, your flaws, all that. And so she goes on to say, because I love you. And I think this is the very first time in the whole entire series, I think, since maybe season 1, that we've seen Tai in a relationship where she says, I love you.
I can't think of any.
Yeah, I don't think so.
This is the first time I think we got some love from Tai.
Yeah.
Which also is something I feel like Eva. That pussy go.
Oh my gosh. I just believe that she's challenging Tai emotionally in a way she's never been challenged before.
I agree.
And so she's telling Tai, I don't want you just for sex. I want you because I actually care about you and I love you. And so, we see that evolving, and I think this is great because, it's a beautiful thing. And Ty's mostly always focused on her work, and now she's focused on Eva. Right.
Okay.
So moving into people focused on their work, child, I got drugs in my booty. Oh my gosh.
I got drugs in my booty. I'm not gonna lie. I did appreciate them giving us that scene.
Oh, with Angie actually.
Yes, Angie actually.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like this has been such a tearing issue for Angie.
Right.
Between being taken seriously as an actress and settling for what she's just able to get at the time.
Right.
And it really shows a lot because the transition from the excitement to the apprehensiveness back to the excitement, I loved it because it was like, okay, Mike might not see the true value in this, but everyone else does.
I don't think that he didn't see the true value in it, but I think he just wanted more for her. And I think that when you first hear about it, you are thinking why would a critic take that seriously? Because we're talking, if we're a true critic, right, you're thinking about, let's just say Black Swan or Hamilton, right? You're thinking about that. You're not thinking about Girls Trip the musical. So I can see his concern.
Right.
I think he did a pretty decent job at expressing that to her.
Right.
I do think that giving her the card, although with it meaning well, I don't know if that was necessarily the thing to do.
I feel like it was a bit enabling.
How?
For her to give up on her dream.
I think that he was saying go after what you want because it doesn't I got you, you can fall back on me, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what he was saying.
Yeah.
But the action itself for the person he did it to.
Yeah.
If Angie, this is when I will, I guess, celebrate Angie's growth is because she let it be known. I've already experienced someone taking care of me, which was my friend Quinn.
Right.
Now that I'm in a place where I don't need to be taken care of and I want to X, Y, and Z and I have things going for myself, I want to show up in that way. And I want to say, Angie, that's the Angie we've been waiting for to show up.
Right.
I think this is the first full episode where we didn't get full comic relief from Angie and we actually got Angie in the episode. So I want to thank them for that.
Yeah.
Which is why also I'm happy we got that scene because even though it could come off as comic relief, it still was showing Angie doing something she was passionate about and putting in the work for. And I feel like that's something that was overlooked, overshadowed throughout her whole tenure in the show itself is what is Angie doing to grow? And then it shows the work that she really was putting in behind the scenes. And that is clap, bravo for Angie.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And I think as we talk about Angie, experiencing what she wants to do for herself, we see Quinn having this moment where she's now envisioning a life with Seth after
the photo shoot,
right? So
listen,
she's telling him,
did they rent them kids?
Did they rent them kids?
Can y'all let us know in the comments? Do y'all know, are those Seth kids or did they rent them kids?
Why y'all out here renting kids is the question.
Why y'all renting kids?
If it ain't, y'all ain't got kids, then don't put kids. Child, that's a whole mess.
But it's supposed to be a black family, black love photo shoot. So it's like, I get it, but
I mean, because now I'm questioning, did they put fake kids in any of the magazines
that we've seen?
That I see?
I'm not gonna lie, they might. You have to spin a block, man. Like, I feel like it's so many campaigns that we got fake families.
Nah, I don't think it. It's giving. I've been hoodwinked, bamboozled,
swindled, all that. Yes, it's correct.
But we see her have this moment where he's asking her, "How would you have the photo shoot?" She's giving this idea without realizing that the publicist is still on the phone, and he's like, "All right, book it." You know, and he wants her to do the shoot with him. And she's like, this is a really big declaration. Like, are you sure? And he's like, absolutely. They have the photo shoot. I'm not going to lie.
The beginning of the photo shoot, when he
is talking
and Quinn comes down the stairs.
Yeah.
This is a cinematic, magical moment.
It is.
And I just want to say shout out to everyone who had something to do with this scene, from her walking down the stairs to the photos being taken, the dinner table set up.
Yeah.
Like, it was gorgeous, man. It was like well done.
I like the way that he was having his monologue, and then he was talking, and when she came downstairs and he greeted her, he said, "Hey, wife," and she said, "Hey, husband." And I think that's what we looked at each other like, did they get married?
On the low, right? Like, or they were just putting on the front for the magazine. Which
we see that they are doing later on in the episode, because Quinn is telling Camille that she's falling for him, that she can see the life with him, you know, husband, wife, 2 kids, and really doing this whole family thing. But they haven't spoken about it because it was her idea for this just to be fun, right? So they haven't addressed it. And then later on in bed, we see them talking briefly. Says, "I like you a lot," and then Seth leaves with, "I love you." Like, I'm lying, I love you. And she says, "I love you too." And then, you know, they proceed to having that great sex when you first tell somebody you love them, right? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. And then middle of the night, Seth gets a phone call, and who is Sabrina?
Sabrina who?
Like,
that's it.
Who is Babe?
Oh, that's funny, Tone.
And why are you saying I love you? Like, do you got Tone's prediction, y'all? So listen, first of all, shout out, right? Y'all hear us reference Tone a lot. Shout out to Tone. She is our backstage producer. She's making sure that we are on cue, and that we have all the notes that we need to have. But Tone's prediction is that Seth is in a poly relationship. Are you gonna hop on that bandwagon and see who's anything?
All right. So that idea isn't out of my head.
Okay.
I do feel Seth has children.
So my thought is, I'm not sure. Like, maybe someone says sister.
He's a professional athlete, man. I'm not shocked if he has a child outside of marriage.
I wouldn't be. I feel like I also am not. I think that Tone has
some weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't put it past him, only because of the statement of adding Quinn to the harem.
Yeah.
So that doesn't take that off the table for me. But I don't also want to be too quick to rush judgment because of the way he has shown up for Quinn.
I agree.
Like, he spends a lot of time and energy and speak publicly about this woman.
Yeah.
No one in any relationship will be okay with that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And that's why, and then especially being the new woman, being in the magazine editorial, and then X, Y, and Z. So it's like, it's not completely off the table for me that he's into poly, but I will say it's definitely more there that we have to uncover. Like, Sabrina could be a friend, a sister, a cousin, a family member. It could be a friend, an ex turned to a friend.
It could be.
You know, like we have no idea.
We have no idea, y'all.
Let us know who y'all think Sabrina is.
We're in the blind, just like you all. So you gotta tell us your predictions for episode. What's that?
5 and 6.
5 and 6, y'all. We're this close to the season finale. So y'all know where to find us. We're gonna be here on Big Go Bell Media, we definitely respond back to comments. So drop yours below. Until next time, y'all.
Peace.